Hi, everyone. My name is Ana Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you about Mercury going retrograde April 1st. So, this Mercury retrograde is going to be very interesting, intense, because there's a lot of activity, a lot of planets in Aries. We have Mercury that's going to be eclipsed on April 8th. It's going to conjunct the lunar nodes. It's going to conjunct Chiron. So this brings a lot of activity, and Aries is a fire sign, and on top of that, it likes for things to happen really quick, right? So decisions that you make during this period from April 1st to April 25th, or even the ones that you've made in the past, you are going to revisit. Okay. So my advice to you is to take things slow, to try not to decide very important things during this Mercury retrograde. Aries doesn't take a lot of time to think about stuff. They just jump on board because they're impulsive, they're assertive, they're pioneering, they set the trend, right? So during this retrograde, you're going to feel an enormous energy to move forward, right? But this is not the best time to do it. If you could table a decision to after the shadow period, which is May 13th, that would be ideal. Chiron is in Aries, so it's going to bring up a lot of old wounds. Mercury is going to go retrograde on 27 degrees of Aries, and it will go direct on 16th degree of Aries, which will be April 25th. So, if you have any planets aspecting this Mercury, and sextiles and trines are good. Sextiles would be the air signs, the trines would be the fire signs. Fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The air signs is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, although for Libra, it's going to be an opposition. Okay. So the signs that are going to get hit the worst is going to be Cancer and Capricorn, because this Mercury retrograde is going to be a square. For the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, I don't expect anything major to happen. Although whatever does come into effect will be in your house that's ruled by Aries. So Aries is very direct, very blunt, very passionate when they speak. Therefore, and they don't think a lot before speaking. They speak first and then they're like, oops, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I mean, they're very honest and to the point, right? So with all this Aries energy is going to apply to all of us. If you are an Aries rising, Aries sun, or have a natal Mercury in Aries, this energy is going to make you go, 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 right? Now, for the rest of us, it will also impact us. So make sure, or at least try to avoid arguments or heated discussions. Take a pause, right? And then just think about it and then act. Mercury is going to go over Chiron to heal ourselves because it's in Aries, and it will be in the area of your chart ruled by Aries. And it's going to feel like we have a lot to do, right? The to-do list is going to be very, very big. Now, Aries, this Mercury retrograde is happening in your first house. So this is all about you. It's your miscommunications. Maybe you're going to have techie issues. Double check your schedule. take your time and reconfirm appointments. Reread your emails before you send them. Slow down on communication, on plans. Something comes up, because of the North Node, right? There's something that you need to make a decision and you need to move forward. Since Mercury is retrograde, you might have to readdress this decision or revisit, I should say, when Mercury goes direct. So before you do anything, before you move forward, if you have to move forward with something, look at the budget, reread the contract, move slower to minimize any decisions that you make. Even like, for example, if you're going to go buy a car, get the extended warranty, because if your car broke down and it's just dead, then and you have to buy a car, then get one with an extended warranty. Okay. Now, if you can postpone it, then like I said, move the decision to May or after the shadow period would be ideal. Now for Taurus, this Mercury retrograde happens in your 12th house. In the 12th house is when you turn inward, right? So this Mercury retrograde is going to have you thinking back to just sit back, relax, focus on maybe the spiritual side of your life, maybe if you started a dream journal a little bit ago, maybe you're going to take that up. You might receive messages from the other side, right? From the spiritual side. So make note, this Mercury retrograde for you is not such a big deal, because it's in the 12th house. It's also about maybe you have a deep-seated fear of something that you need to heal. Maybe it comes from your childhood, maybe it comes from your parents or somebody that hurt you, and psychologically, you need to address that now. For Gemini, it happens in the 11th house. So again, this Mercury retrograde is not such a bad energy for you, because it happens in the house of friends, of social activity, of associations, of groups and organizations. So you might meet new people, but most likely you're going to reconnect with old associates, with old friends, and reevaluate your social life. Is it just work, 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 or are you having fun as well? For Cancer, it happens in your 10th house. So you might be rethinking about a career, like maybe you want to change careers. Don't do it while Mercury is retrograde, because you're going to have to revisit that decision. But you're going to be asking yourself, am I in the right career? Or maybe it has something to do with a work project that you may need to tweak, like maybe you submitted a budget and it has to be rebudgeted, or you submitted some estimates and you have to go ahead and redo the work. So reread the emails before you send them out, especially to your boss or to higher management. If you are having a conversation with your supervisor and it starts to get heated because of all of this Aries energy, then you might say, you know what, I don't have the answer right now. Let me research it and get back to you. And that way you diffuse the situation and you're able to, give it a pause. Now, for Leo, this happens in your 9th house, and it's the house of beliefs, of travel, of religion, university studies. So are you rethinking your major at school? Maybe you want to change your major. Don't do it while Mercury is retrograde. Are you planning a long distance trip? 9th house. So double check everything and don't start or end the trip when the retrograde starts or ends, right? You give yourself a couple of days from the beginning and the end. So you wouldn't want to travel on, let's say, March 31st, April 1st, April 2nd, heading to to the long distance trip, and you don't want to come back April 24th, 25th, or 26th, because that's when the majority of the flight delays, the airline cancellations and stuff like that happens. All right, so this can also be a school trip, right? Or maybe somebody that you used to go with to school, right, can contact you, or maybe a professor, or you're reconnecting with, like I said, somebody that you went to the university with, or maybe even high school friend. There's a visit to the past from something ninth house related. Now, for Virgo, this happens in your eighth house. Eighth house is death, sex, taxes, the occult, inheritances, fears, trauma. So, are you revisiting your fears? Talk to someone. Did somebody really hurt you and you took it in, really hard? So get therapy. Try to initiate therapy. If you already initiated therapy, maybe you want to revisit the therapist and say, hey, listen, I need a little extra help. So you might want to revisit your taxes, see if you got all of those deductions. Anything having to do with inheritances, debts. Are you trying to look over your debts to rebudget, especially with your partner when your partner is involved, right? Because eighth house is your partner's finances. For Libra, it happens in the seventh house. So here we go, Libra. Um, this is all about relationships for you. Maybe an old boyfriend or long-term relationship, person might contact you. And if they hurt you, they might actually ask you for forgiveness, or they want to explain something to you, or, just maybe try to clear out what happened. Now, my advice is don't go back with them. When things ended, they ended for a reason. So what you could do is learn from the relationship, the pros, the cons, and move forward to a new person. Use what you've learned from that relationship and apply it to the next, right? So that way something positive comes out. Of course, if somebody asks you for forgiveness, you can forgive them, right? But you don't have to take them back. Now, anybody going through legal issues, you might need to revisit a um a divorce proposal, for a settlement, right? If you're thinking about um dating a new person, make sure that the wounds from that relationship of that person that's trying to contact you is solved before you move forward with this new person that might come in. So, again, contact your therapist or mental health provider if you need someone to talk to. That would be a great idea. For Scorpio, this happens in your sixth house. So, sixth house is your daily routines, health, work. So you might revisit a health routine, an exercise routine. You might want to stick to an old routine because, when you first started it, you cheated a little bit, right? So maybe you want to go back and do it again at work or work colleagues. Is there an issue with one of them that maybe you need to talk to this person, or you want to talk to HR about something that happened with this person? So you revisit, redo a work project. maybe you updated, you submitted something and now you have to tweak it a little bit before submitting it. For Sagittarius, this happens in your fifth house. So it's the fifth house is about hobbies, vacation, romance, kids, things that we do for fun, including amateur sports, is also fifth house. So do you want to restart any of these things? Do you want to revisit a place that you went to on vacation because you had such a great time? Uh, don't let your kids schedule, because as a parent, we always put the kids' schedules first before our own. But if you want to go to a hobby, reinitiate a hobby that you had, or if you were playing sports with the guys, and you want to restart it, then tweak your schedule. Try to accommodate. See if your spouse will help you out, right? Any creative projects that you started and you left and you want to pick it back up, this is a great time to do it. This will also apply on a romantic level because fifth house is the boyfriend, girlfriend. So somebody from your past that fits this description might come back and want to reinitiate a relationship with you. Or maybe if you had a fling, they might be calling you up again. Who knows? But again, if they want to ask you for forgiveness, by all means, you can forgive the person. That doesn't mean that you have to take them back. For Capricorn, it's happening in your fourth house. So you are going to have to revisit a situation with a parent or a close family member that maybe hurt you, said something that didn't, was not very nice. Again, talk it out, seek counseling or therapy. You might want to, talk to your priest, to your rabbi, or something like that, because it's the parent and you want to make sure that everything is peaceful, right? Um, so what about the fourth house relates to your home, your physical home? Do you want to redecorate, repaint, move the furniture around, do some spring cleaning? That would be great. So maybe you need to move back to your parents' house. All of these things, if you can wait, then do it after the shadow period, which ends May 13th. Now, Aquarius, this happens in your third house. So it relates to siblings, extended family like cousins, uncles. So again, did somebody of these people, right, did they say something that caused a problem? Especially the siblings. The siblings are always, you have to just deal with them. But try to communicate again, right? If they're reaching out to you because they want to apologize or maybe clear up a situation, then hopefully you can heal from this situation. Also, third house has to do with travel. So did you take a short trip somewhere that you really enjoyed and you want to revisit it again? Or, like staying at the beach for a couple of days, like over the weekend and stuff, and you really had a nice time, so go for it. During Mercury retrograde, you could redo something that you started a while back. Also, third house, your computer, your phone, your car may need to be repaired. So obviously, if your computer dies, who can live without a computer nowadays, right? Or your phone, make sure that if you repair it, you get an extended warranty, or if you replace it, you buy an extended warranty during this period. Because I personally had a computer of mine die um, during tax season a few years ago, like 15 years ago. And I had to buy another computer. I didn't have a choice, right? And that computer that I bought ended up with the motherboard melting. Okay, that never happened to me before, and it has never happened again. And I had to buy it during a Mercury retrograde period because, again, I had no choice. I couldn't postpone it. So hopefully this is not the case for you. All right. Lastly, Pisces, this is happening in your second house, which is the money that we make from the job that we do. It also has to do with what you value in life, your assets. So, is there a side gig that you want to take up again, right? Is there something that maybe you had some kind of arrangement with somebody to make a little extra money and you let it go? Well, you might want to revisit that now. Now, try to delay big purchases because when the retrograde period is over, you will change your mind. This is classic. Okay. You might want to also revisit your finances, second house, your budget. Are you on track or do you need to rebudget something and bring your expenses back in order? All of these things are applicable to the second house. So this concludes the video. As always, if you find this information helpful, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, send it to somebody that you think it might help. And if you would like a personal consultation with me, a natal chart reading, please send an email to amaastrology@aol.com. And as always, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video.